After completing a literature review on transgender and gender expansive singers in choir, I found that very little research has been published specific to teaching transgender singers in the choral ensemble. Articles in the literature suggested that future studies on trans choirs could illuminate recommendations for gender inclusive rehearsal practices and pedagogy, which is the subject of this research study. The purpose of this study is to investigate gender-affirming practices in the choral ensemble, with the goal of better understanding practices which help singers of all genders feel welcomed and affirmed. This is a formative research project because a literature review revealed that minimal scientifically based exploration has been published on the topic. It uses the three principal tools of formative research: key informant interviews, participant observation, and focus groups. Specifically, I have conducted 18 open-ended interviews with directors of trans choirs and other key informants, 8 rehearsal observations, and focus groups with members of 6 trans choirs around the country. I am in the process of coding audio recordings of the focus group and interview transcripts thematically using theory-driven qualitative data analysis software and analyzing for patterns and themes in the data, as well as useful and illustrative quotes. Some of the preliminary findings are as follows. Conducting this research study has been illuminating, as trans choral ensembles have had a rich history in this country for the past 25 years. There seems to be an ever-present need for these supportive community spaces, as new trans and gender-expansive choirs continue to form every year. The idea of flexible voicing comes up frequently in the data, as a more open-minded approach to voicing makes space for singers whose voices are in transition or who may have a different comfortable range from day to day for a variety of reasons. Voice part labels that are not correlated to gender also create more affirming choral spaces for all. Trans and gender-expansive choirs think carefully and deliberately about creating spaces that are welcoming to singers with diverse accessibility and neurodiverse learning needs. This may include providing options for singers to sit during performances or providing fidget spinners at rehearsals. Conductor education and education of those in leadership positions seem to be an important part of creating gender-affirming spaces and policies. Expected outcomes include a greater understanding of practices which help singers of all genders feel welcomed and affirmed in a choral ensemble and which do not. Potential impact includes choral conductors becoming more effective and supportive leaders, which could lead to better retention of transgender and gender-expansive singers in choral programs and more welcoming and affirming spaces for all.